Well, it's very early in the morning down here in Durban at Maritzburg College, and we continue with the Wildeklawer Festival. Today, the first televised match will be between Waterkloof Hoërskool and Paarl Gimnasium from down in the Paarl. But it's a big year for the Maritzburg College as well, celebrating 150 years of existence and one of the premier schools in South Africa as well, having produced many great quality people, not just sportsmen as well. The weather forecast is a little filthy, if you want to call it that. There's a bit of rain at the moment, and it's cool, but it's the weather conditions, I suppose, for playing rugby might be, you know, fairly reasonable. I'm sure that you saw they're firm underfoot the field as well, so things should be pretty much okay. Well, it's a two-day tournament over 3 days. So on Thursday was in fact and was the first opportunity, and then of course Friday as well. And if we have a look at those results, there were some surprises for many teams as well. Just one thing that you might pick up there is Grey High actually beat Diamantfeld 51-10, not that way round. And Paarl Gimnasium, a good solid victory over the Wildeklawer 15. And Waterkloof, well, they were beaten by Waterkloof, and the Waterkloof team from George has been ranked the #1 team in the country to date. Having a look at the fixtures, and there you can see Oakdale have just played against the Sharks Invitation 15. So we're waiting for Waterkloof to come out and contest the first match then against Paarl Gimnasium. This should be a really good tussle as well. And not only going by the results that we saw just now, but also the progress that we've seen during the course of the season. Paarl Gim have an excellent side. They beat the #1 ranked team, Waterkloof, last week in George. And there's just so much interest here. And what's wonderful about this Wildeklawer Festival too is that it's about rugby, but it's also about netball. So the girls have been out here as well. Christoph Lotter, former provincial player himself, is the head coach of the Paarl Gimnasium side, captained by Rikus Botma, who of course was one of their stars in 2012 as well. And playing alongside him, Jacques Vermeulen at #7 is a man to look out for, as is JD Schikkeling, the South African school's lock forward. Waterkloof, captained by Zander van Wyk from the #1 position, and coached by Leon Kutsia, Burger Lindeque, and of course a familiar name to all of you as well, Naas Boerto, who does also help with the coaching of this monumental school. It's a very big school in Pretoria. The replacements bench, well, some guys that actually played on Thursday as well, who are down now on the replacements bench. And I guess these days you don't see replacements as reserves, because in many cases, many of them get onto the field as well. So Waterkloof, it is leading the way with Zander van Wyk coming out first. And these games will be contested over 30 minutes each. No more than that. Normally they play for 35 minutes. And joining me in commentary today is Wim Visser, former Italian international as well. Wim played 22 test matches for Italy and did extremely well over there. But Wim, welcome today as well. But you're back on familiar territory because you are a Maritzburg old boy.
Oh yes, definitely. It's fantastic to be back here at my old school in Maritzburg, and especially on the 150th birthday celebration anniversary. I have fond memories of this field. It's a fantastic pitch, Goldstones. Fond memories playing here until under 15A, and I remember that cricket pitch pretty well, because in the winter it gets like rock hard, like a piece of marble.
Taklana Shikasa is our referee. Just a little bit of a furrowed brow there. I think that's got something maybe to do a little bit with the rain. He's getting his assistant referees in place. So Waterkloof then, and JP Snowman, the flyer, will be the man kicking off. Just have a look at the big men in the Paarl Gimnasium side. They've got some very tall guys. Professor, you'd be able to relate to that as well, being a very tall man yourself.
Definitely.
So first blood, yeah, if you want to call it that, then to Waterkloof, taken up by Zander van Wyk, their captain. Paarl Gimnasium also have a very well-organized defensive system. We've seen that during the course of the season. And one of their very productive men, Ryan Oosthuizen, there with the little grubber kick through. Interesting start this, and the nice thing about schools rugby is there's always a high level of continuity as well. I suppose it's an adjustment, even for these boys playing at 8:30 in the morning. Out from Justin Phillips, their scrum half for Waterkloof, using the width of the field. Created a little bit of an overlap. Now that little chip kick through, and this is a very big chase. This back for it, there's Rikus Botma. Did well, big chase coming from Lindo Greiling, the left wing of Waterkloof.
Back.
This is where the forwards really can do the work. JD Schikkeling taking that ball up. He's a very big man. Little chip kick there, and which way does it bounce? Excellent play there from Wyatt Murphy, who played in the fullback position. He's at fly-off today for Paarl Gim, but it's Waterkloof coming away with it. JP Snyman taking it in. Justin Phillips was waiting for it, but eventually it's picked up by the forwards. So Waterkloof looking to take on this big Paarl Gimnasium pack of forwards. Out then from Phillips, and the kick downfield from Tinus de Beer in the fly half position. Got it right up, tight up against the touchline. And the net result is that Waterkloof in a solid position on the 22-meter.
It was an amazing piece of play. They've lasted almost 2 minutes 20. Waterkloof in a very favorable position with a line out on the 22. Let's hope they can get some quality possession here to launch a good attack.
They're a school that was only founded in 1979, Waterkloof. Just around about 1,600 pupils. It's an enormous school, and it's a school that's achieved quite greatly. So that ball knocked on there, so it'll be a scrum this for Paarl Gimnasium. You can see the medium fives there. They weren't quite high fives yet from the players.
What's important is we see that Paarl Gim are contesting even in a defensive line-out situation, winning the ball there, but then making a bit of a mess up with a knock-on. It will be interesting in the first scrum.
Yeah, those first scrums are always interesting. It's something you'll know a little bit about.
That's where it all starts, up front.
Well, there's a lot of backline players that actually would debate that with you.
I think definitely.
But no, you're quite right. That is where the foundation is laid. And of course, kicking today as well, you know, and a wet ball can make things quite difficult for Paarl Gimnasium. It's Ryan Oosthuizen's kick downfield. He's actually done pretty well as the centre. Just onto the left foot there, came perilously close to putting his foot on the touchline.
He did very well then with a small angle available, using his left boot, getting a line out close to the halfway line of Waterkloof.
Reinhard Venter with the throw in. And a couple of hands getting in there, so it'll still be another throw in to Waterkloof. Just wonder about that as well, Vim. Sometimes, you know, your lineouts, and you'll know a little bit about lineouts, just throwing in that early. Is there a lot of wisdom in throwing to the front of the lineout just to get things going with a wet ball and all that sort of thing?
Oh, definitely. I call the front ball the banker ball. It's a timing ball. 9 times out of 10, if you get your throw right and your support right and you jump against up in front of his opposite number, you're going to win that ball. So definitely with these conditions, you need to get the quality possession first.
Well, it's Johan Momsen and JD Schikkeling for Paarl Gimnasium. Very good line-out players. This is Jacques Vermeulen. So Waterkloof really would want to do something about taming this pack of forwards of Paarl Gimnasium. That's really where the danger lies primarily for them, and some inventive running from the backs too. We'll see a lot of Ryan Oosthuizen, Wyatt Murphy. Ball played on the deck by Waterkloof. Mentioned that Waterkloof was founded in 1979. Paarl Gimnasium way back in 1858. Just a couple of pupils, I think, that started in that school.
The replay here. Not on his feet. And that's why the penalty went to Paarl Gim.
Lots of work there from Volnik and Roddy. He was the man that carried the ball into that ruck as well. Murphy to space there. Westhuizen trying to find some space. So it's a free kick this time against Waterkloof. So that's not kickable to goal. They'll probably probe for the corner flag. No. Schools rugby has always got something interesting going on, hasn't it? Unpredictable. Again, good carry from Jacques Vermeulen. Botma, the captain, looking to lead from the front. Murphy. And they've got an extra man here. Here's a real chance for Paarl Gim. Over they go, Grand Hermanus.
We all started with a great angle, a great pass, good hands, and a fantastic finish in the corner. Good angle here from the number 13 from Paarl Gim, Vaino Fasagi. And then a great finish diving in the corner, the number 15, Grant Hermanus. Fantastic skills with this wet weather. It's a bit greasy out there. The ball's a bit greasy. It's drizzling. So these youngsters are showing some great skills out there.
Also, just you spoke about the cricket pitch a little bit earlier as well. I mean, you know, obviously cricket pitches are hard because they're designed to be like that. How much is that a factor, in fact, when you're playing? Are you on the lookout for it?
Well, definitely. You know, when we used to play, it was our opposition's nightmare. They knew that Goldstones had a pitch in this field gets absolutely like a piece of marble in the winter because it's really dry down here in Pietermaritzburg. So definitely the opposition teams used to come here and know that if they get nailed on that cricket pitch, they're going to remember it for the rest of the rugby year.
White Murphy unsuccessful with the conversion right from the touchline. Again, you can see the angle that was run there, and really Vaino Fasagi, as Van Visser was saying, it really opened things up pretty well there. Tinus de Beer with a kick in, up for it, Schikkeling. In fact, it wasn't Schikkeling, it was Vermeulen, I think. Well, that's the difficulty with a greasy ball, of course, is just making sure that you get your passes right. Those big spin passes, torpedo passes, are not necessarily always the order of the day. A spin pass, keep it short. The line-out's a little bit problematic for Waterkloof right now. They've come away with this one. Phillips. And we've seen a little bit of territorial domination from Waterkloof in the early stages of the match until they got pinned into their half, and like any good quality side, Paarl Gimnasium made sure that they scored some points.
Flag advantage, green offside.
Penalty advantage to Waterkloof. 4 players coming in from the side. Referee's just waiting to see what happens. Alan Nshikaza. De Beer, the little chip kick. His advantage over. No, it's not. They'll come back, and it'll be a penalty from straight in front.
What was nice there, the referee Tyler Nshikaza allowing advantage for the penalty for Waterkloof. Waterkloof are using a lot of pick and go tactics with a truck and trailer system to maintain possession in this wet weather. At the moment they've got a bit of problems in their lineouts, but you have to take your cap off to Paarl Gim because they're contesting everything at the moment in the lineouts, which is important.
What could be important as well is the goal kicking today, making sure that every point that's available is taken. Tinus de Beer will be pleased that this is up front. Makes it a little bit easier. And perfectly driven there by the fly half.
Great kick there by Tinus de Beer, straight in front of the poles. At least Waterkloof have, with all their territorial dominance at the moment, have converted a bit of that territory into points. They've got 3 points reward for it.
So the Wildeklawer Festival then, with 20 teams playing, and these are top team rugby schools in the country, all in one place. And they must certainly a great opportunity for many of these boys as well, who might not play against certain of these schools at any time during their sporting career. And I think it's always great to know that you've had an opportunity, if you were at Maritzburg College, to have played, for example, against Grey High in Port Elizabeth, which ordinarily you might not have played against.
Definitely, it's a great occasion for these school youngsters to meet other youngsters from other schools and to contest against other schools. And obviously all the schools in our country have got massive tradition, rugby tradition, so it's a fantastic occasion for these youngsters.
Well, that's a quick take that. It was a very useful idea that, to get Paarl Gimnasium back into their 22. I think we might see a little bit more kicking than you would expect with this wet weather.
Well, you have to play to the conditions. You have to play to the conditions. It's wet, it's greasy out there, so a lot of grubber kicks will be put through. They could use also the up and under tactic to put pressure on the opposition.
How's that kick? Oh, that's an excellent kick. Absolutely perfect kick. White Murphy is a very talented young man.
Lovely clearing kick there from White Murphy. Perfectly weighted, finding a great line out in attack.
And you can see the strength in the line out that Paarl Gimnasium have. Take up their carry up from Gareth Saliers. Very industrious flank forward. This is Botma onto Schikkeling. Often they use him in that sort of situation, but not much room to move in there up against the touchline. That might have been a knock-on. Referee allows play to continue, and it's Jean-André de Beer who came away with it. One of the two de Beers in the side. Tinus de Beer being the other one. This is the try scorer, Grant Hermanus. And that's not a bad effort from him as well. So the outside of the boot. And that's solid enough there from Waterkloof to get them out of their territory.
Good clearance there, but all started with a great take by the number 8, JP Snyman, passing the ball inside and then a great clearance.
To the back this time, the line-outs working well for Paarl Gimnasium. Ryan Oosthuizen looking to do the clean-up work.
Get up there! Go ahead!
Oosthuizen inside and doing well to set up the next phase of play. Oh, Waterkloof offside. No, they've just counter-rucked quite beautifully. So Paarl Gimnasium not having things their own way up front. Outside of the line-outs, we're finding that Waterkloof are very, very competitive. Somehow they just kept that ball in field, and it looked like it might be going into touch. And then another turnover. Now Waterkloof opportunity here for Lander Greiling with the pass out to Gunter. Referee says he's playing advantage, so it'll be another penalty to Waterkloof if they don't make something of this. Well, there was a knock-on, so they'll come back for the penalty. Well, the quick take here from Waterkloof, trying to catch Paarl Gimnasium unawares. Paarl Gimnasium were not back 10 meters.
They definitely weren't back 10 meters. Could that have been a mistake though? Should have maybe have gone for poles, eh?
Well, I
Points, when 3 points are available, you have to take them.
Vim, I tend to agree with that. We often debate around that too, but I think what has happened here is that they've just got up so close now, they can't miss the kick.
Definitely. But I suppose it's also in the spirit of rugby and the spirit of a festival, and that's maybe why that he took a quick tap, trying to get the try.
Yeah, one would certainly hope that there's a lot of spirit around. I'm not sure that the coaches would always agree with us.
Sometimes the coaches sit there and pull their hair out.
Tinus de Beer. This to take the lead, and a good finish from almost a tap over for the fly half, and for the first time Waterkloof then are in the lead.
Well, Tinus de Beer with a easy little kick in front of the poles to get another 3 points there for Waterkloof, and they're now leading 6-5. But they are dominating territory at the moment, and they've got 6 points for reward at the moment.
It's a neat drop in that from Wyatt Murphy, allowed his forwards to contest for that ball. It has come out on Waterkloof's side. Justin Phillips waiting for it. Tinus de Beer. He's got a nice and educated boot as the fly half, but that ball was taken back into the 22. So they're going to come back for the line out in danger territory for Waterkloof.
Yeah, unfortunately, his boot was a bit too much weighted and went directly into touch. The ball was taken past back into the 22, and that's why there's a line out from where the ball was kicked out. At the moment, Paarl Gim's line out's working really well, so it should stand for a great attacking platform for Paarl Gim.
So, Wim Visser, there you are, old chap.
Back at my old school.
Back at your old school. Eh? Good drive this from Paarl Gimnasium. And I just don't want to make mistakes here. Let's make sure those passes are all spot on. Good run through there from Fasahi. And has it been turned over, is the question. No, it's still being held, but this time it's a penalty to Paarl Gimnasium. Players going off their feet. Quick take by Ryan Westhuizen. Now the forwards come into play. This is where Paarl Gimnasium can really sting you, because they've got the big forwards to carry the ball up. This is one of them, Rikus Botma. And Volna Conradi. Can they break this defense of Waterkloof, which seems quite resolute at the moment? And well, it looked like they turned it over, but it was good reading of the play there by Paarl Gimnasium. They were allowed to play that ball. It was in general play.
Nine blue.
The referee getting in the way there. Dylan Fairbridge coming in from the left wing. There's the drive again from the captain, Rikus Botma. They need those long arms of JD Schikkeling to stretch over the line, get up close. They asked DJ van Nikker to take it up. This is well carried through a number of phases now, Paarl Gimnasium. One senses that there's certainly a try on offer for them. Can they make something of it? Botma. Wyatt Murphy, a little bit of a hospital pass to him. Somehow they've managed to hold on to it, have they? You can see that ball is like a cake of soap at the moment for some of the players.
Paarl Gim showing a lot of patience there, setting up a lot of phases, but just unfortunately couldn't get through for a try. The ref, Hlala Shamkaza, giving a penalty for offsides. Be interesting to see what Paarl Gim do here. They're going to take a quick tap penalty again.
Yeah, they've got such a good line out, you know. One wonders why they didn't consider that, but this is the opportunity here for Schikkeling with the drive through. So once again, Waterkloof very much under pressure. Strong carry from Gareth Saliers.
No hands. Get on 4.
Can somebody dive over here? Can somebody get close enough? It's Oosthuizen. Can he get it down? Yes, he has. So Paarl Gimnasium with the 2 tries of the match.
Continuous pressure from Paarl Gimnasium. Eventually rewarded with a try from Ryan Oosthuizen, showing a lot of strength and power to go over the line and eventually dotting the ball down. Good hands, they're showing great skills. Was a low pass, but wiggling his way over and scoring a great try for his team.
Yeah, this angle will show us as well just how much work he had to do. First of all, to catch that ball, as you said, but secondly, to get it down as well. He had 2 men on him, and the referee managed to get into a very favorable position to make the call.
The ref was in the right spot and awarded the try, but showed some great skills there. He got a very low pass. You must remember, it's very greasy out there. The ball is very wet. There's a slight drizzle at the moment, so he showed some great skills to firstly catch that ball and then showed some good strength to go over and wiggle over and score the try.
A little bit of a breeze that's come up, which would be directly into Wyatt Murphy, coming slightly across the field. And I'm sure he was trying to allow for that as well, but that going wide. So it's just the 2 tries then, one from Amanus, one from Oosthuizen, to the 2 penalty goals of fly half Tinus de Beer for Waterkloof. Let's have another look at this from a different perspective.
Oh, great hands.
There were players outside as well, but it was Oosthuizen who backed himself. That's brilliant take that by Vermeulen. He's a strong boy. Good pass inside, carried up by Conradi. It's a rampant catch that it really was, and run through. Murphy with a long pass out to Hermanus. Oh, there was a late tackle there, I think. No,
I think it was
in front of the kicker, says the referee.
Early on, I think the whole Waterkloof side were all offsides, and they were battling to get back from that great break. They were offsides, and the ref justifiably blowing Waterkloof. It'll be interesting to see what Paarl Gim does now with this penalty.
Yeah, I think it's too far away to kick it goal with the wind as it is as well, the breeze. So Murphy will kick for the corner flag and try and employ that very solid line out of Paarl Gimnasium.
Well, at the moment they've got line out dominance, so I'm sure they're going to throw it and maybe set up a driving maul in these wet conditions. What's important is the body positions now. Let's see what happens.
Into the back they go.
Peel off.
Vermeulen the catch. This is Schikkeling.
No hands! No hands!
204 meters, a big fellow he is. And Waterkloof, this will probably be a warning, and then the referee's going to go to his pocket after that.
Seems to me that it's becoming a problem. No clear daylight once the tackle has been made. He's not releasing the ball, intentionally slowing it down for the other team. Okay? Let's sort that out.
Always good for the ref to speak to the players about that sort of thing, and transgressions at the breakdown point.
Well, it's important, the communication with the referee to the teams, to let them know where they're going wrong and to let them know that they're now being watched and they're going to, you know, could be a yellow card offence the next time.
So big pressure once again on the Waterkloof line from Paarl Gimnasium. These pack of forwards have really played with a lot of courage and a lot of strength. That ball was knocked on, so Waterkloof no advantage, and it'll be a scrum to Waterkloof. Vermeulen down at the moment. Looks like he might need some attention. Just while we're doing that as well, just to mention to you, Vim, you of course went to the school here at Maritzburg College, but not a lot of people know, as we have a look at that knock on there. Not a lot of people know that you went to Michael House as well, and it's a little bit like Joel Stransky was at this school, but he was also at Rondebosch. So which school claims you?
Oh, it's a difficult one. Obviously, my heart lies with both schools. It was a great opportunity to go to Michael House and do a post-matric there in 1988. But I spent my whole from standard 6 to matric at Maritzburg College. It was an honor to be at this school. It's a fantastic school. Both schools merit.
So you've taken the easy route then, eh?
Definitely. Very diplomatic.
Well educated, my boy.
Coach!
Now Justin Phillips has got the put in here, and he wants to get out of this area, so he's got tennis to be. You can see him in picture there. He's fly half. We spoke about having an educated boot. Now, a drop attempt from Grant Hermanus was somewhat speculative. And Waterkloof, well, they find themselves still in their own half of the field. That kick there from Marcel Smit, not going the distance that he was looking for.
I made a bit of a hash of it, came off the side of his boot. But what's important is he found his touch. But it's now the Paarl Gym to throw in again, and their line-out is really working well today.
In the middle, it's Schickeling with a catch. Out from Brendan Nell. This is Wyatt Murphy. Botma in the backline from the number 8 position. Just seems like this is a little bit of a machine that's been well oiled last night and is starting to become very productive now. Christoph Lotter will be pleased with the efforts of his team. He has another chance for them. Livel Gous there, unfortunately, with a try line beckoning. The ravages of a wet ball.
Unfortunately, not managing to keep his hands on that ball. Pass wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, knocking it on with an open line in front of him. He'll be really disappointed with himself with that.
Still, Paarl Gimnasium in an attacking situation. Quickly out there, and Phillips decides he's going to kick himself. Up for it, Hermanus. It was good pressure that from Tinus de Beer for Waterkloof. That's one of the things you've got to do against the side that's perhaps dominating you in certain areas, is to get into their face. Be very, very right up front. They've got to make sure that they make their tackles, this time on the cricket pitch. Long pass from Murphy. Nearly an interception. So a little bit of over-elaboration, maybe, from Paarl Gimnasium. So one of the things you've got to do in wet weather, we spoke about it earlier, is you've perhaps got to kick a little bit more. And you know, Wyatt Murphy at fly half and Tinus de Beer at fly half for Waterkloof, maybe want to consider just probing a little bit as well with the boot.
Well, with wet conditions, you need to use your options, such as a grubber kick every now and again, put up and under, and put pressure on, get the opposition turning around and going back, and putting pressure on them.
So early engagement that time from Waterkloof. Waterkloof failing to make the early tackles, and that's why these guys are able to run at them like this. And at this time, poor Livel Gous on the right wing, that's going to go down as a knock-on, but it was a horrendous pass.
Unfortunately, it is going to go down for a knock-on, but the pass was horrendous. It was very high and wide, and he can't really blame himself for that.
He's a nippy little fellow on the right wing. He's a very small guy, though, very short, of course, so he didn't have the long arms to reach for that ball.
Shame, unfortunately, it was a terrible pass, bit high, bit wide. He had to have that go-go gadget arm, but unfortunately he doesn't.
Well, maybe the second half will belong to him.
Stay down!
We nearly finished that first half, and that's probably an indication that it is finished, with a little tap into touch. And bearing in mind that we're just playing 30 minutes each way. Normally, these boys would play 35 minutes each way. But it's a very tight schedule today. And we have 6 televised matches on SuperSport as well. This is the first of them. And the halftime scoreline here is Paarl Gimnasium 10, Waterkloof Hoërskool 6.